What I'm about to reveal might completely change how you interpret every interaction you have with women. Right now, there are women in your life who are actively working to get your attention, but they're doing it in ways so subtle and sophisticated that you're probably missing every single signal they're sending. I'm not talking about obvious flirting or direct approaches. I'm talking about strategic, calculated methods that women use when they're genuinely interested in you but can't risk being rejected or looking desperate. These are the tactics that smart, confident women employ when they want to capture your attention without making themselves vulnerable to embarrassment. Here's what's going to shock you. While you're completely oblivious to what's happening, these women are running sophisticated campaigns designed to make you notice them, think about them, and eventually realize that they're someone worth pursuing. They're not just hoping you'll notice them. They're actively engineering situations and interactions to ensure that you do. The women who use these methods aren't playing games or being manipulative. They're being strategic. They understand that getting quality attention from the right man requires finesse, intelligence, and perfect timing. They know that obvious attempts to get attention often backfire, so they've developed more sophisticated approaches that work much better. And here's the most incredible part. These methods are so effective that they often make you think you're the one who's interested in them first. They're so skilled at creating intrigue and attraction that you start pursuing them without even realizing they orchestrated the whole thing. So let me ask you something. As I go through these 5 subtle ways women try to get your attention, how many of these scenarios are happening in your life right now? Because if you recognize even 2 or 3 of these patterns, there are women who have been working behind the scenes to capture your interest, and they're probably doing a much better job of it than you realize. Way 1. She becomes strategically visible in your daily routine. This is one of the most sophisticated attention-getting strategies, and it's so subtle that most men never realize it's deliberate. When a woman wants your attention, she starts appearing in your regular spaces and routines in ways that seem completely natural and coincidental. She might start shopping at the grocery store you frequent, working out at your gym, or getting coffee at the cafe you visit regularly. But here's the key. She's not just showing up randomly. She's studying your patterns and timing her appearances to maximize the chances of accidentally running into you. The psychology behind this is brilliant. Instead of approaching you directly or trying to create obviously artificial encounters, she's integrating herself into your existing world. This makes every interaction feel natural and unforced while giving her multiple opportunities to capture your attention over time. But there's something even more strategic happening. She's positioning herself as part of your environment so that you start associating her presence with your normal, comfortable spaces. Every time you see her in these familiar settings, she becomes more familiar and approachable in your mind. Pay attention to patterns of women appearing in your regular locations. Is there someone who seems to shop at the same times you do, work out when you're at the gym, or grab coffee when you're there? What might seem like coincidence could actually be carefully planned positioning. She might also time these appearances to coincide with moments when you're most likely to be receptive to interaction. She shows up when you're relaxed, in a good mood, or have time to chat, rather than when you're obviously rushed or stressed. She's optimizing for the best possible interactions. But here's what makes this strategy so effective. She's creating multiple low-pressure opportunities for you to notice her positive qualities. Instead of trying to make a big impression in one encounter, she's building familiarity and positive associations through repeated exposure in comfortable settings. You might notice that she always looks particularly good during these coincidental encounters. She's not just showing up, she's showing up at her best, making sure that every sighting reinforces a positive impression of her appearance and energy. The most sophisticated version of this strategy involves her becoming genuinely part of your routine in ways that add value to your experience. Maybe she becomes the friendly face you see at the coffee shop who always has interesting recommendations, or the person at the gym who knows good workout tips. She's not just visible, she's useful. If you're consistently seeing the same woman in multiple locations that are part of your regular routine, especially if she always seems happy to see you and ready for conversation, It might not be coincidence. It could be a carefully orchestrated campaign to capture your attention through strategic visibility. Way 2. She masters the art of asking for help. This is a classic attention-getting strategy that works because it allows women to create legitimate interactions while making you feel valued and important. When a woman wants your attention, she becomes remarkably good at identifying things she needs help with that happen to align with your skills and availability. She might ask for your opinion on something she's considering buying, need help moving something heavy, want advice about a decision she's making, or require assistance with something technical that you're good at. But here's what's really happening. She's creating opportunities for you to be helpful while making you feel appreciated and needed. The psychology behind this is powerful. Most men enjoy feeling useful and competent, especially when attractive women recognize their abilities. By asking for your help, she's not just getting your attention. She's making you feel good about yourself while associating those positive feelings with her presence. But there's something more sophisticated happening. She's choosing requests that allow for extended interaction and follow-up contact. Instead of asking for help with something that takes 5 minutes, she might need assistance with something that requires ongoing conversation or future check-ins. Pay attention to the types of help women ask you for and how they frame these requests. Does someone consistently seem to need assistance with things you're particularly good at? Do they ask for help in ways that create opportunities for longer conversations or future interactions? She might also time her request perfectly to coincide with moments when you're available and in a helpful mood. She's not asking when you're obviously busy or stressed. She's approaching you when you're most likely to say yes and enjoy the interaction. But here's what makes this strategy especially effective. She shows genuine appreciation for your help in ways that make you feel valued and important. She doesn't just thank you and move on. She makes sure you know that your assistance was meaningful to her and that she sees you as someone reliable and capable. You might notice that her requests for help often lead to her offering something in return, creating a natural reciprocity that builds connection. She might offer to buy you coffee, cook you dinner, or help you with something in exchange for your assistance. She's building a foundation for ongoing interaction through mutual support. The most telling sign is when she asks for help with things that other people could easily assist her with, but she specifically comes to you. This shows that getting your attention and interaction is more important to her than just solving the problem efficiently. If you're consistently being asked for help by the same woman, especially if her requests seem to align perfectly with your skills and availability, she might be using this strategy to create regular opportunities for positive interaction and to make you feel valued and appreciated. Way 3. She becomes your social media strategist. In today's digital world, social media has become one of the most effective ways for women to capture and maintain your attention without being obvious about it. When a woman wants your attention, she becomes incredibly strategic about how she interacts with your online presence and how she presents herself on her own platforms. She's always one of the first people to like your posts, comment on your updates, and view your stories. But she's not just mindlessly engaging, she's being thoughtful and strategic about her interactions. Her comments are always interesting, supportive, or add value to your posts rather than just generic responses. But here's what's really happening. She's positioning herself as a consistent, positive presence in your digital life. Every time you post something, you can count on her to engage meaningfully, which makes you start to notice and appreciate her digital support. She's training you to associate posting content with receiving positive attention from her. Pay attention to patterns in your social media interactions. Is there someone who consistently engages with your content in thoughtful ways? Do they seem to see your posts quickly after you share them, almost like they have notifications turned on for your account? She might also share content that she knows will resonate with your interests or values. She's not just posting random things. She's curating her social media presence to appeal to you specifically. She wants you to see her posts and think, this person really gets it, or we have so much in common. But there's something even more strategic happening. She uses her social media to give you glimpses into her life that make her seem interesting, fun, and attractive without being obvious about trying to impress you. Her posts show her living an engaging life, having interesting experiences, and being the kind of person you'd want to spend time with. She might also use social media to create opportunities for private conversations. She'll comment on your posts in ways that naturally lead to DM conversations, or she'll share things that give you reasons to message her directly. She's using public interactions as stepping stones to more personal communication. You might notice that she times her posts strategically to coincide with when you're most likely to be online and engaging with social media. She's not just posting randomly, she's optimizing for maximum visibility and engagement from you specifically. The most sophisticated version of this strategy involves her becoming genuinely helpful and supportive through social media. She might share opportunities that would benefit your career, tag you in things that align with your interests, or promote your projects and achievements to her own network. She's not just getting your attention, she's adding value to your life through her digital presence. If you're noticing that someone is consistently your most engaged social media follower, shares content that seems perfectly aligned with your interests, and uses online interactions to create opportunities for deeper conversation, she's probably using social media strategically to capture and maintain your attention. Way 4. She becomes the queen of perfect timing. This strategy is all about developing an almost supernatural ability to appear at exactly the right moments in your life. When a woman wants your attention, she becomes incredibly skilled at timing her interactions, invitations, and availability to coincide with when you're most receptive to her presence. She might text you right after a stressful day when you could use a friendly conversation, invite you to things when she knows you're free and looking for plans, or show up with exactly what you need at precisely the moment you need it. This isn't coincidence, it's careful observation and strategic timing. The psychology behind this is powerful. When someone consistently appears at moments when their presence is welcome and helpful, you start to associate them with positive timing and good feelings. You begin to see them as someone who enhances your life rather than someone who creates inconvenience or stress. But there's something more sophisticated happening. She's studying your patterns, moods, and needs so carefully that she can predict when you'll be most open to interaction. She knows when you typically get home from work, when you're likely to be stressed, when you might be looking for social activities, and when you're most available for conversation. You might notice that she has an uncanny ability to know when to check in about things happening in your life. She remembers when you have important events, deadlines, or challenges, and reaches out at exactly the right moments to offer support or celebrate successes. The most advanced version of this strategy involves her becoming the person you can count on to be available when you need support, advice, or just friendly conversation. She's not always texting you or demanding attention, but when you need someone, she's there. This reliability makes her incredibly valuable in your life. If you're noticing that someone has remarkably good timing with their communications, invitations, and availability, always seeming to appear when their presence would be most welcome, she's probably mastered the art of strategic timing to capture your attention and make herself indispensable. Way 5. She creates exclusive experiences that feel special. This is perhaps the most sophisticated attention-getting strategy because it involves creating unique, memorable experiences that make you associate excitement and enjoyment specifically with her presence. When a woman wants your attention, she becomes a master at designing interactions that feel special and exclusive. She might invite you to events that align perfectly with your interests, but that you wouldn't have known about otherwise. She could suggest activities that are slightly outside your normal routine, but that she knows you'd enjoy. She finds ways to create experiences that feel tailored specifically to your preferences and personality. The psychology behind this is brilliant. By creating positive, unique experiences with her, she's building a collection of memories that you'll associate with her specifically. Every fun, interesting, or meaningful experience you have together becomes a reason to want more of her company. But there's something even more strategic happening. She's positioning herself as someone who brings adventure, discovery, and positive experiences into your life. She's showing you that being around her means access to interesting people, places, and activities that enhance your overall life experience. Pay attention to whether someone in your life consistently suggests activities or events that turn out to be really enjoyable and perfectly suited to your interests. Do they seem to know about interesting things happening in your area? Do they have access to unique experiences or exclusive invitations that they share with you? She might also create experiences that feel intimate and special without being obviously romantic. She could suggest checking out a new restaurant she heard about, going to a concert by a band you mentioned liking, or trying an activity that neither of you has done before. She's creating shared adventures that bond you together. But here's what makes this strategy particularly effective. She makes these experiences feel effortless and natural rather than like she's trying too hard to impress you. The activities she suggests seem to flow naturally from conversations you've had or interests you've expressed, making her seem intuitive rather than calculating. You might notice that she has an unusual ability to find or create opportunities that are perfectly suited to your preferences. She might have connections that give her access to interesting events, or she might be particularly good at discovering unique activities in your area. She's becoming your gateway to enhanced experiences. She also pays attention to how much you enjoy the experiences she creates and uses that feedback to design even better ones in the future. If you loved a particular type of event, she finds similar ones. If you mentioned wanting to try something new, she makes it happen. She's continuously optimizing for your enjoyment. The most sophisticated version of this strategy involves her gradually escalating the specialness and exclusivity of the experiences she creates. She starts with small, casual activities and builds up to more memorable, unique, or meaningful experiences as your connection develops. If you're noticing that someone consistently provides you with access to interesting, enjoyable, and well-suited experiences that enhance your life and create positive memories, she's probably using this strategy to capture your attention by making herself the source of adventure and excitement in your world. Why these strategies work so well. Now that we've covered the 5 ways women subtly try to get your attention, let me explain why these methods are so effective and why you might be completely missing them even when they're happening right in front of you. These strategies work because they don't feel like someone is trying to get your attention. Instead, they feel like natural, organic interactions and coincidences. Women who use these methods understand that obvious attempts to capture attention often backfire because they can seem desperate or manipulative. By being subtle and strategic, these women are able to build genuine attraction and connection over time, rather than just momentary interest. They're playing a longer game that results in deeper, more meaningful connections rather than surface-level attention. These approaches also work because they make you feel good about yourself, rather than pressured or pursued. Instead of feeling like someone is chasing you, you feel like you're discovering someone interesting who enhances your life in various ways. What this means for you. If you're recognizing these patterns in your life, understand that the women using these strategies are genuinely interested in you and are investing significant time and energy in capturing your attention. They're not playing games. They're being strategic about building real connections. These methods require intelligence, patience, and genuine interest to execute well. The women who use them are typically more mature and relationship-oriented than those who rely on obvious tactics or games. If you're interested in any of these women, you need to start recognizing their efforts and responding appropriately. They're taking emotional risks and making investments in you, even if they're doing it subtly. The least you can do is acknowledge their interest and decide whether you want to pursue something deeper. But if you're not interested, you need to be aware of what's happening and be careful not to take advantage of their efforts. It's not fair to continue enjoying the benefits of their attention-getting strategies if you know you don't see them as relationship material. And remember, the woman who's using these sophisticated methods to get your attention isn't just looking for a casual interaction or ego boost. She's demonstrating the kind of intelligence, patience, and genuine interest that forms the foundation for real relationships. The question is whether you're paying enough attention to notice what's happening and wise enough to appreciate the effort being made.